first, let's make sure that that's not a Cobb. Out with the Figaro, in with some power. This is a 996 turbo and it's built. Now, this is an old friend of mine. This car's been in the Boston car scene for a very long time. And I remember this is like what defined speed to me when I was in college. Let's start it up. I want you to hear this thing. Can already hear the comments about 996 interiors, but you're going to get over that pretty fast because it doesn't matter what it looks like in here, because when you push on your right foot, lots of fun things happen. All right. Let that fuel pump go. Cold start takes a little bit of time to settle out. Make sure I don't lock myself out. I'm going to put the window down. The full mod list is going to be in the description below, but what you need to know about this 996 is mostly in the engine. So it's got K16 Billet hybrid turbos that are more efficient and actually smaller than what you would get in the X50. Now, the X50 was a 911 turbo package that gave you... I'm pissing off all the dogs. Now, the X50 was a package on the 911 Turbo before the Turbo S was a thing, but essentially it gave you the K24 big turbos that you'd get on the GT2. What makes the K16 so special is that even though they're smaller turbos, which you would think makes less boost, they are a more aggressive design, so I believe it makes about the same boost, and they're more efficient because they have ball bearings instead of the journal bearings that you find on the K24s. So what you end up with is a turbo that doesn't really sacrifice the boost, spools faster, and pulls harder. I already apologized to my neighbors the other day in advance for the cold start on this car. Now, in order to maintain grip on that flywheel, you've got to have a beefier clutch, otherwise you're going to slip. So this one's been upgraded with a Sachs Racing Sport clutch, and it's really nice because A, it holds the torque. There's no slip. It feels very solid. B, it's not a bear to drive. It's not a heavy clutch. A heavy clutch can be a real pain in the butt in traffic, and even if you don't daily drive it, it just makes it less fun to drive a car that's like a lot of work. But C, the bite point is really progressive, and that's a big problem with a lot of upgraded clutches, especially on Porsches, because some of them, they catch really high. I've driven 997s where the bite point is very high. It's at the top of the pedal, and that's kind of uncomfortable and awkward. It's not my favorite. Other times, you might have a nice bite point, but the bite point is not gradual at all. It's like an on-off switch, and this has a nice progressive feel to it. Up here, I'm going to be able to show you why big power cars are both extremely fun and really stupid, because normally that stretch back there, I could go through maybe 2 gears on most cars that I drive. I can't do that in this car. It's too fast, and we're going to talk about responsibility in a second, but first, let's make sure that that's not a Cobb. As you can see, it gets up and goes very quickly. It's like holding a loaded gun. You've just got this trigger under your foot, and you can be an irresponsible person and wave around your loaded gun thinking, I probably won't shoot it, but something could happen. Anyone could back out of a driveway. Oh, so you've got to be really aware when you've got cars like this. You got to know that the tarmac you're looking at is healthy. Go all the was up here in the Hummer the other day, and I think I said exactly the words, man, I'm glad I'm in a slow car because I don't have to risk my license to drive this on camera. Cars like this, you do kind of risk everything when you have it. You risk your ability to drive, whether that's getting arrested for driving triple-digit speeds in places you really shouldn't be doing it. You risk other people's lives because this is a rocket ship, and if something jutted out, you know, you can't stop. Like, it's just absolutely killer. So I'm picking my battles here, right? Like, I'm giving you a couple polls. I'm looking for like places where there's no mailboxes. I'm looking for, you know, there's nowhere there's anyone sitting. I'm not gonna kill anybody, but I'm also not like ringing out more than I can really bite off, right? I'm not gonna go and enjoy fourth on a backcountry road. We'll just give it a little pull. We'll go out to the highway for that in a second. See, that'd be a worthy adversary. Actually, I'm just kidding. That thing's probably slow as hell. Vermont plates though. I don't know, maybe he's scary. That thing either has 200 horsepower or it does wheel stands. I don't think there's any in between on that. Now, while the S65 AMG that I had the other day looked like I was probably carrying dead bodies in the trunk, I'm fully aware that this car looks like it has a frunk full of cocaine. So we're gonna get on the highway with that in mind, hoping that no police intervene with what I'm trying to do here. I have to go. Oh my God, he didn't get on. What a star. All right, hopefully we're gonna turn this on. Driving a car this fast on these highways. There's so many cops everywhere. I don't want to go crazy speeds, and I'm not going to, but I do want to show you what it can do, because like third gear is amazing. Gotta shut it down before you get arrested. What you notice about 996s or any real 911s, up until 991, they don't do this quite as much, but this front end dances a little bit when you get on throttle, because essentially the weight balance of this car, you've transferred it all to the rear. It's already biased to the rear because you've got the engine out back, and those front tires, while yes, they are touching the pavement, there's not a whole lot of pressure on them. So there's really no steering, and that means that when you're like really dancing with these cars and you want to go play on a back road or something, you need to be very aware of the reality that understeer is going to occur if you're on throttle. Like you're not going to be able to both pitch this car into a corner and stay on throttle. So, you know, you wanna brake a little late, get that nose planted in, shove it around the corner, and until you can see that exit, you know, you just want to be very cautious on that throttle. I don't know what's behind me. I don't trust that. This is the problem with fast cars. You feel like a criminal all the time. Eddie has his Camaro ZL1. That car's now making like 685 wheel horsepower. And it's so much fun to be in. It's so much fun to drive. But the reality of owning a car like that is when you do take it out, you know that you might not come back with a license, because when you do let them out, when you do like open the taps, I mean, you're going fast. For that reason, as much as I love speed, like I would love to go drag racing, I would love to have open Autobahn where I can really enjoy the cars. But when it comes to owning one on a real public road, it's just not as fun, and I'd rather own a slower car that I can row through like 3 gears and just enjoy without the fear of like never driving again. just feel like too much of a target. It's crazy. It's hard to review these cars. The sound of 911 turbos, 996, 997 Metzger generations, they are interesting to me. It's not objectively a good sound in my opinion. I don't hear this and think, man, that's music to my ears. But it's got like this Pavlov's dog effect where I salivate when I hear it because I know what it means. This sound means torque. This sound means power. This sound means speed. So when everything kind of aligns and it's in boost and up to the revs, it's amazing. Now, obviously, a GT3 sounds far, far better. But it doesn't mean that I don't get excited when I hear this thing, because it is just a monster. I think we can wrap up this drive here before anything bad happens. Basically, respect speed, respect the drive. That's what this is all about. Now, am I saying you shouldn't have a fast car? Of course not. Fast cars are great. They're really fun. But, you know, make sure you're pointed in a straight line. Make sure you're not doing it in a neighborhood where someone could be pulling out of a driveway. You know, it is people's responsibility not to go into a busy road, but it's not their responsibility to not get hit at like 140 miles an hour because you're ripping up in a 40 mile an hour road. Kids are out, things are happening, pedestrians cross roads in blind areas. You've just got to think. So, go out there, build your dream machine, get in boost a little bit, but not too much because you can't see what's over that hill. And don't forget, as always, to respect the drive. Come on. Put shoes on. Yeah, one. You need one. What you don't know is my dad, Larry, Papa Tedward, he's terrified of speed. He always thinks he wants a fast car. He loves to talk about all the fast cars he had growing up, all the fast cars his friends had, except that every time I've ever taken him in an actually fast car, he gets real nervous. But I took him for a ride in a 600 LT, and he very much did not like it. I think he almost puked. I think I only did like 2 gears and he was very unhappy. So I want to take him for like a second to third in the 911 Turbo, and I want to bring you along with me. Part of this too is to show that when your passenger says shut it down, you should shut it down. You should definitely shut it down. It's not nice to terrorize people. I see these videos all the time where it's like they put their grandmother or their mom in the passenger seat and they scare the shit out of them. It's funny. It is. It gets the laugh. He doesn't enjoy this, so I'm going to show you what it looks like to do this with somebody who doesn't enjoy it and shut it down when they ask you to. He's going to yell at me, though, just a heads up.
1 eternity later.
We're going to do 1 gear.
And if
It's
I
just
throw
gonna-
up, you're cleaning.
Do not throw up in this car.
Alright, that's enough. That's enough. I can already feel it.
What do you
fast.
You like it?
Well, it'd be more fun if I were driving because then you feel like you're in control. When you're a passenger, it's just like out of control, whipping fast.
We're going to let these turbos cool off. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive and, of course, respect your passengers. We'll see you in the next one.
That's right.
You can go. You can go.
And everything's carpeted. Nice and absorbent
Oh,
materials. You know?
awful.